It's a bit like the bike road, really. It just kind of became a possibility, a story. Whether the police had mentioned that to him or not, I don't know. But I have just looked at the statistics for mountain lion attacks in Colorado. Since 1990, there's been a total of 22 attacks on humans in Colorado, three of which happened last year, and three out of those 22 have resulted in fatalities. So, I mean, it's not a huge number, is it?
No.
But, but I guess it is a possibility. Um, I have actually got just a short video here of an attack, just so you can.
The video shows a mountain lion attacking a female sheriff's deputy in Larimer County. You can see the deputy trying to fight off the lion while she was on the ground. The cat eventually runs away. Moments earlier, it had attacked another person who lives in this RV park. One witness tells us he saw a patch ripped off the deputy's uniform. Her pager was found thrown on the ground near where the struggle took place. This happened at the Riverview RV Park near Loveland.
It lunged at the officer.
They're quite powerful animals.
He shot this video.
It lunged at the officer.
Greg Paul's home. He shot this
They
video.
are.
It lunged at the officer. She went like
And
this. Luckily,
if you
thank
think
God. I mean,
about
if
it, there
she
would
had
be
not have put her arm
an extreme amount of issues, of evidence, the stuff going all over the place, clothes that she was wearing, a glove. I mean, if she's on a bike ride, she's got a helmet, she's got all of her items with her, right?
Yeah.
My name's Tyson
And
Draper.
if it-
I'm from Arizona.
Stop that. Sorry, say that again, Kelly.
That's okay.
So yeah, you were just saying
No.
about there would be, wouldn't there? There would be. I think
A
there
massive.
would be. Yeah.
There would be something saying, hey, now we see an attack. There might be blood. There would be, pieces of skin, things like that. They didn't say anything like that. So I think mountain lion should be crossed off the list. I mean, I personally had done that, but I'm just trying to look at it, unbiased, in a way. But I definitely didn't think if it was a mountain lion, that would have been a grotesque scene.
Yeah.
Because
There would be.
she would have fought back.
Definitely. Yeah. I think of I can see a mountain lion attacking. Maybe a kind of smaller woman, but I couldn't see it successfully kind of, I don't know, taking someone away, dragging someone a considerable distance like that. I really can't. And she was a fighter, right? I mean, she would have fought it off. In my mind, no doubt she would have fought it off. I don't think she would
She
have let her.
definitely.
Yeah, I don't think she would let.
She
So
was
although that's a
healthy.
possibility.
She was athletic. She was capable of defending herself. She looked very healthy.
Hmm,
And they said she was. So there's no way she wouldn't have fought back to try to save herself.
absolutely not. Right, bear one sec. I think there's just a problem with the stream. Hang on. Some people saying they can't.
I know we got something happened.
Yeah, I think it may have dropped out.
Here to help
What's
her.
happened? Where's everybody gone?
How is everybody?
Okay, let me just reload that.
True helper. I saw you just text message me too. I'm like, uh-oh, because we all got,
Oh, they all got booed.
yeah, we got
Okay, I
booted.
think they're back. Can you all hear us, guys? Oh yeah, I think. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened.
Mystic
It just
Firefly.
disappeared. I hope that doesn't happen again. That was not going to be one of those nights. Yeah, so we were just. What was the last thing you saw, guys? How long have we been disappeared for? Did you see the mountain lion video? Did anybody see the mountain lion video? Probably blabbing away for 10 minutes and they're probably not even there.
I was just thinking that, like, how long have we been talking?
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just play the
I'll replay it.
mountain lion video. Yeah. I just want it just to give people an idea of the kind of size of these animals and what they can potentially do. So. So yeah, I think as we said, a possibility, but a real stretch. I think that would have happened. I do know that they did see one pass, one of the cars. I think. Well, Barry said that one of the policemen saw a mountain lion pass as they were there at the scene. So maybe that's where the story
Somebody would
originated
have
from.
seen something because that road that comes off of her driveway that you were showing, it's not very active, but isn't it at least enough that cars would pass by and possibly see a woman fighting an animal? Um, is it possible? That's
Yeah,
just
it, it's kind of off the so as you see Highway 50 there, um,
yeah,
it's down this turn. It's down this turn here onto Country Road 225, and then this apparently is an incline. So coming from Highway 50, you would be going um,
exactly.
downhill, and exactly here in the center of the screen, it is where her bicycle was found. It was down in this tree line area here. When you're watching the Barry talking, he's actually
Hmm.
right here in this area here in the middle of the screen. They're standing on this road here. So it's kind of off the highway, if you like,
Yeah,
the country road 225. So I don't know how busy that road would be, but
I don't either.
yeah.
It's
But let,
just it's just in an awkward area though.
mm,
Right, Crystal. I think so too. If a mountain lion got to her, there would be clothing and things left for
mm.
sure.
Yeah, you would think so,
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
you know,
I mean, she
yeah,
she she would have put up a real struggle, and there possibly would have been blood if it bit her. There would be kind of probably drag
absolutely.
marks and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of a
Absolutely.
reach.
It is.
Okay, let me go back to Barry's interview.
My name's Tyson Draper. I'm from Arizona.
Okay.
Just go forward.
So we've searched a 200-mile radius.
What? Really?
All of the mountains have been covered so far, but obviously we're gonna miss things.
Right.
So let me show you what happened. And I do have a reward,
There is a reward?
$210,000 reward. The bike was found at the bottom of the hill by that tree where the peak is.
Oh, really?
The first night there was a mountain lion. The officer seen it walk by the car, so we thought maybe she got attacked by a lion. We thought maybe she wrecked coming down this hill, a car coming around the corner fast, or maybe was disoriented and got in the river. We've covered all of this really good, this triangle, with search and rescue. So we're pretty comfortable that she's not in this triangle between the RV park, your truck, this road, and then the next road. But what seems to have happened from the investigators, and they don't give much, and I've got private people working for me, is maybe she was abducted right here. And they found an article going west of hers. They won't tell us what it is.
I'll just pause it there. Yeah, we still don't know, which is pretty key, really. We don't know what that item is that they found. I mean, he's saying they found it westbound. So I guess that would have been
Right.
on Highway 50 probably. But still we're all none the wiser as to what this item is. I mean, we don't, is it a helmet? Is it some piece of clothing, something off the bike? Is it a phone? I don't think it's a phone. They haven't mentioned anything about phone because
Now,
obviously
didn't he
phones.
say? Yeah, I don't think there was a phone. Didn't he say? I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, carry
Um,
on.
didn't he make a comment in this interview here that he didn't even know what items were found?
Yeah, he doesn't know. He
Yeah, he
doesn't know what
doesn't
the
know.
item is. No, nobody knows. Only law enforcement know
Only
what
law.
the item was. I believe it was found that same day that they found
Right.
the bike. It was on Mother's Day when they found it, and they found obviously this item going west. We don't know how far away it was. We only know it's westbound because of what Barry said there. That's it. That's all we know. But that obviously, the fact they haven't mentioned what that is tells me it's got to be key to this whole investigation because why are they keeping that so close to their chest, you know?
Well, evidence.
Mm,
I mean, if it's a key piece of evidence that they are holding on to because they feel that there's something that could hinder the
mm,
investigation, if that item were to be released to the public, or that knowledge of the item. I don't That's my guess, only because knowing some cases and within law enforcement, and sometimes now with this social media strength, that we're all inaccessible to, and we have access to a lot of stuff.
mm.
I think that a lot of law enforcement departments are going to start doing this, is locking stuff down,
Yeah.
locking that information down, because it's key if we don't know about it. Because usually they would be like, oh, their helmet, their cell phone, was left. So what was it? What was left that we can't know about,
Mm.
that might hinder, the investigation or the outcome.
And
And
how?
Tyson, I mean, he's awesome. He did a wonderful job. He was very relaxed, very, on point, and I liked how he did it. I know he got a lot of hate for that, but I just want to mention that,
Yeah.
he's a nice guy. He seems like a very nice man.
Mm. I think it was sort of under the pretense that no, I'm not recording, I'm not media. I think
Yeah,
initially what
that's
people
what
had a
was the
problem with.
not. Yes, I get it. That I get for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah.
And I have done that? No, but again, I think sometimes some people just want to get in there and get that story.
Yeah.
Um, and but to me, honestly, it seemed like he's trying to help in a lot of ways, but he wants to find Suzanne.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
I think that I in the beginning part where he said, "Let me show you what happened." Did you hear that when he said that comment? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
so was he saying, "Let me show you what happened from our search"?
I guess so. I guess he's saying, he's probably gone over it a few times with other people, isn't he, and with law enforcement.
Yeah,
So yeah, I know some people have said, why would he say this is what happened? It's almost like he's narrating this story that he's created in his head. But I think he's maybe just saying, look, this is what happened. This is what we've been going over. This is what law enforcement have said and told us. And, in that context, I mean, people will take that however they want, but
absolutely.
yeah, I don't
Well,
know. Yeah,
I see Mystic Firefly. Hi, Mystic. It says that she said, "What I have heard is the three items found are: one, her ring; two, her phone; and three, a bloody blanket." I have not heard those things before.
I've never heard that. I only I only heard it was one item as well. I don't know where has that information come from, Mystic Firefly. That's certainly news to all of us if
Yeah, that's new. That I mean, wait a
that's
minute.
true, but I haven't heard that. Well, look, let me.
Tonight they did have a. I mean, as far as I know, they were married for a long time and um, looked like it very much in love. And also, she beat cancer. Suzanne
Twice.
beat cancer
Yes,
twice.
twice.
So their relationship seems pretty solid there, right? Chris, what
Yeah,
do you think?
absolutely. Yeah, as far as everyone I know that the way people have spoken, yeah, they were very happily together. No issues there. Of course, Suzanne is a real fighter, as we know or now know. She got a rare type of lymphoma when she was just 17. Um,
Mm,
she lost all her hair, and the doctors even told her that she wouldn't be able to have children. So, for her to go on and have two beautiful
and
daughters
have
is an amazing
children.
story, right?
Right.
And
Like awesome story. She just beat the odds.
mm, so it just kind of
Hey, Seth.
when you hear a bit of a victimology like that, it just makes you even more want this woman to be found, doesn't it? So let me just I'll just carry on with this
Yeah.
this part of the video.
So they sent another team after they found the article that covered this hillside all the way down to the river pretty good. My concerns were this way and that way if it was the cat, because the cats, they drag their prey up the mountain and out of people's. We can't find sign for the cat, but we got rain like right away.
Yeah.
Could have washed away sign.
So they found her bike just right against that tree down there?
Well, no, it was on the ground. The wheel was facing, and the sheriff department, they screwed everything up. They shouldn't have touched it.
Oh,
So
really?
they left it. It's evidence. They pulled it up, and then the sheriff we had cars over here. Well, the sheriff let everybody drive through here, covering all, or messing up all the evidence. They were walking all over this area, which if somebody abducted her, they would have had foot tracks. They would have fingerprints on the bike.
And they let
10 other people touch the bike.
Oh, man.
I mean, we was really upset that first night. But I was in Denver, so
Oh, you were?
I didn't get here until 9 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
And my friend's an Army Ranger, and he knows this stuff better than anybody. He did 400 tours in Iraq, Afghanistan.
Oh, is that?
So what I would say,
Just before we do the last bit, so he's saying there, they were quite concerned that law enforcement had sort of messed up the scene. Plus they had rain, but also that everybody had kind of trampled through the area. Lots of different people had touched the bike and what have you. I guess he's expressing genuine concerns there. If indeed that was how things went down, the
Yeah,
evidence may have been tampered with.
yeah. He seems like he's a take charge kind of man. So I can see why he would be highly involved in wanting to know what law enforcement is seeing and doing, and what results, that they're coming to. But the one thing that her bike was laying on the ground, the wheel was sticking out. So in other words, it wasn't necessarily just laid up against a tree.
No, he was just saying it was just on the ground.
Just on the ground.
With the
Someone
wheel.
at one point said it was set up or set up against a tree. So I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. From what he said there, it was just found, and I've got no reason for him to, to
No.
lie. It would be, when clearly law enforcement officers know exactly how it was found, it wouldn't pay him to lie.
Oh,
So
I know. I just wanted to make sure.
yeah. Oh no,
It
I
was
think it's.
and I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, I think it was just found probably just in a random position. Do you know what I mean? As if it had just
So,
careered down that bank or been thrown down that bank. We don't know, obviously, but it was just found on the ground, as far as I know, probably against a tree, but it wasn't, as far as I know, it wasn't stood up, against a tree as if it
right.
had just been put there. But yeah, it's interesting you did say about, the evidence being it had rain, and that could potentially wash away evidence. Maybe at that point they weren't aware of how
Absolutely.
important that would be, that area, but there you go. We're coming up to an important bit
So
in a
would
minute.
that be
Mm. We
it
just
is. I mean, would that be a possible issue that the rain came and washed a lot of the blood if there were to be any from an animal attack?
hmm
Or did they look right away
mm.
on that path? I was just curious. Like, did they look right away on that path?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they found the bike, but we don't know how thoroughly they searched that area because that would have been on
Right.
the Sunday, on the Mother's Day, the kind of day that she was
Because he
reported
said that
missing.
he was upset because they didn't take the items that were left out. There was some evidence that was left after rain, and
I
is
think,
that what he was concerned
yeah, I think
about?
he's just concerned that the whole scene just got contaminated by other cars going through there and
Right.
people walking through, numerous officers obviously walking around there. He looks like he's concerned that maybe there would have been footprints and that kind of stuff that could have just been ruined. But
Yeah.
um, but we're just coming up to an important part now, which I found was one of the most important parts of the interview, was when Tyson asked Barry, when was Suzanne reported missing? When was the last time
Yes.
anyone?
This is important.
Yeah, his question you'll hear in a minute. It was, so you were in Denver, but how long before someone noticed that she was gone? Now, to me, it just sounds like when he first starts to answer, he's very hesitant. He almost doesn't say anything for kind of 4 or 5 seconds before he starts to answer, which I just found a little bit odd. He just seems a little bit reticent in his answer, but I'll play it now anyway and see what you think. I'll probably have to transcribe some of it because some of it's quite muffled as well.
If you want to help, I would say this way, then the least covered on the mountainside.
So you don't know where that article was, though? Was it by the road, or they won't say, huh? Well, Barry, I'm glad you filled me in, man. I was... Oh, you had somebody behind you. I was hoping I'd run into you because I can't even imagine what you're going through, man. That's what I've heard.
We're totally in love. We got two best kids. The closest baby. It's just one of them things where, and they have to investigate me first.
Yeah, yeah. Well, get your name cleared, and then.
Well, and they told me that it's cleared. I don't know if it's going to come to me because the minute
Yeah, well, they're going to, man. They're going to beat you because, I mean, you got to look at, especially in Colorado, there's been so many cases where, like Patrick Frazee, Christopher Watts, these guys get on there and they act like, they didn't do anything, and so naturally people are going to be skeptical in the beginning, but
you just came to help.
I was in the Pagosa Springs area, and I've been kind of hearing about this, and so I thought I'd just come help, man. And what can I do for you, bro?
We've got a good group of friends and stuff. The best thing that you could do if you're a hiker and you're an outdoorsman, just get out there and cover some ground.
Okay.
Yeah, find something. If you find anything, don't touch it. Take a picture of it, give it to the police. Put it in there, let them come, because if there's an article, they need to DNA it without the inside.
Absolutely.
And we have found men's clothing. We found a group of men's clothes up by the lake. Pieces. but they community tested and they've done.
So Fooses is up that way.
You go up to the right,
Yeah.
and that lake's up there, and then the Cruces Trail, you can drive all the way to the trailhead. And this is the Colorado Trail where you cross 50, where they park up top.
Yeah.
And that trail goes all the way to Denver.
Okay.
And we've covered, I had school friends come the first few days, so we had a bunch of guys that we covered that real good
Up in there.
up in there. But the only thing, this is a tough one, and my friends aren't in shape like you. So getting up those sides of those hills and stuff is kind of tough.
Well, let me ask you a quick question, Barry. So you were in Denver, but how long before somebody noticed that she was gone? And
Well, it was Mother's Day.
It was Mother's Day.
We had two daughters that
I'm just going to stop it there. Do you see what I'm saying there? He takes a long time to answer. I'll play it back in a second and I'll transcribe it. But yeah, he just seems to take a bit long to answer to me. It's just something that
Now, to me, he sounded like he was giving a lot of information in a way of, oh, well, there was men's clothes that we found over there. But I know what you mean about the hesitation when he was asked the question. I just was noticing how he's, well, if you want to hike, go up there and take a picture and, make sure you don't touch it. So he's definitely in control or charge of the situation there. It sounds like,
And
um,
yeah, no, I'm in no way applying blame or incriminating him in any way.
no.
Just analysing the way he was quite, like you say, he was quite outgoing in his description of the bike and how he can help and what have you. But it just seemed that this question of when was let me just find out the exact question because I've got it. You were in Denver. How long before someone noticed that she was gone? He just seemed to have this almost hesitance in his answer,
Right.
almost like he's thinking quite a lot of what he's going to say or maybe how he's going to say it. So that's just the kind of point that I was trying to make. But I'll just play it back
Perfect
again. Yeah,
observation.
and I'll
Perfect.
I'll transcribe it again, and I'll transcribe it at the end, just the last bit, because some of it's quite muffled.
you were in Denver, but how long before somebody noticed that she was gone? And
Well, it was Mother's Day.
It was Mother's Day.
We had two daughters that were coming home from the trip. And I had that job in Denver that I wanted to get started on Sunday, set it up for my workers. My workers were coming in Sunday night. We were going to work Sunday night, they were going Monday, but being the owner, I wanted to get everything lined up so that they didn't have to stay and wait on me Monday morning and just get busy working.
right.
So I told my wife, I said, listen, the girls are going to be home. They want to spend Mother's Day with you. Mind if I go? Let's go. But she said, that's fine. So the bike's just not the bike. And then the girls get home, we'll be together. And that's what we thought was going to happen. The girls were running late, so they texted me Happy Mother's Day. She didn't text back. So we went to, or they called my neighbors and said, listen, it's Mother's Day. I'm a little worried. And will you go check the house? And the neighbor went and checked the house. Saw that her car was there, but the bike was gone. She called me in Denver and said, hey, we're just a little worried. And I go, well, I am too. Why don't we just call the police? Just be safe. And I'll report home for that.
Yeah, that's what it was. Damn, bro, I'm really sorry, man. I can't imagine what you're going through, but it sounds like you got a really good support system.
Yeah.
And do you want me to leave my number or anything? And in case you need me, I'll be here for the next. And then.
So that's pretty much the crux of wanted to show anyway. Tyson actually gives him his number. I wonder how many calls Tyson's had because he actually gives him his phone number and he's left that on the video. So, he's probably inundated. But yeah, let me just read basically what his answer. It's only take a minute or so. It's not very long. So Tyson asked here, and this is very fundamental because, especially with the new information that's come out from Suzanne's family, which I'll go through in a second. But it conflicts, with a lot of what we've heard, and a lot of what we'd heard from Barry, and what he has communicated to his family. So Tyson asked him, "Let me ask you a quick question, Barry. So you were in Denver, but how long before someone noticed that she was gone?" And he says, "Well, it was Mother's Day, so and he's a bit hesitant. We had two daughters that were coming home from the trip. They had been away on a camping trip, apparently. And I had that job in Denver that I wanted to get started on. On Sunday, set it up for my workers. My workers weren't coming in Sunday night. They weren't going to work Sunday night. They were going to work Monday. But I, being the owner, I wanted to get everything set up, and then it kind of muffles. So I told my wife, I said, listen, the girls are going to be home. They want to spend Mother's Day with you. Mind if I go get started?" And she said, "That's fine." Again, it then becomes quite muffled. And then he says, "And that's what we thought was going to happen. The girls were running late, so they texted her a happy Mother's Day. She didn't text back. So they called my neighbours and said, listen, it's Mother's Day. I'm a little worried. And will you go check the house?" And the neighbour went and checked the house, saw that the car was there, but the bike was gone. She called me in Denver and said, "Hey, we're just a little worried." And I go, "Well, I am too. Why don't we just call the police to be safe?" So that's what he's saying there to Tyson. So he's actually saying that the neighbour said the bike was gone. But I haven't actually heard that from anyone else. I haven't heard the full neighbour's statement. I wish I had that full neighbour's statement and exactly.
But she didn't say that, did she?
I don't know, but what's come out now so the latest information we have that's come out from Suzanne's family, this has come through a channel called Profile in Evil on YouTube, which are two former detectives. Apparently, a member of Suzanne's family has spoken to them, and Lauren Schaff from Fox 21 News, who's also sort of closely covering the case. But according to a member of Suzanne's family, this is kind of how it went down. So the day before Mother's Day, so that's a Saturday, right? Suzanne was texting one of her closest friends, and they were discussing an upcoming wedding. And then sometime early to mid-evening, that communication just stopped. So they were texting, talking about an upcoming wedding, and then nothing. And that was on the Saturday. So that's kind of got me thinking now, are we looking at Saturday as being the day that she disappeared?
I definitely think it was. Well, see, that's just it though, because he said that the girls said that they did talk to her, right, on Saturday? That they texted Happy Mother's Day and she did respond to
No,
that?
no, no. So on the Sunday, on the Mother's Day, they texted Suzanne, wishing her
Right.
happy Mother's Day, and they got no reply. So they then texted their dad, Barry, and told him, and then I think he advised him to call the neighbour. So the daughters called the neighbour to go and check the house.
Okay.
But then we have the conflicting information now, because Barry's saying there that the neighbour said that they saw the car was there, but the bike was gone. So by bike, I presume she means Suzanne's bike.
Correct.
But then you think, well, she must know then where Suzanne keeps her bike for her to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know whether she said that for sure, because we've never seen firsthand the neighbour's statement. But now, from Suzanne's family, they're now saying that the neighbour went to check on Suzanne, but saw two cars outside the house. Neither one were Barry's, or neither that she recognised. So this is what I mean, Bob. We now have this conflicting information. Now
Oh,
Suzanne's
goodness.
family have kind of come forward with this information. It
Mm-hmm.
conflicts with what Barry stroke the neighbour is saying. And this, I think, is what's causing a lot of confusion and causing a lot of concern for Barry's family, because information that they've had fed back from Barry isn't matching what we're hearing now. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I'm on board with that.
Mm,
Um, I was I'm very, I love you guys so much, and I want to be so respectful, but I just, when I see the case, I see things that I just don't like, based on things that I know, from, other things educational wise. So it worries me, it little concerns me about what's going on. Were people over there and sent to do harm to her? Um, but there are like there's so many conflicting stories, and right now I'm just gonna play the devil's advocate. Barry was, I guess it's new, fresh, it had just happened kind of thing where he's looking, and I think that maybe a lot of people sometimes will misconstrue information. Maybe he thought the neighbor said that, and
mm.
not that, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. There's been, and there has been quite a bit of that from when the case first broke, because
Yeah.
initially, I think the story came out that at some point it came out that Barry had gone to Denver for fire training. And
Right.
as far as I understand, that's what his family understood to be true. But then you got people saying, well, no, he said he was going to Denver to do a job, which
To do a job.
matches up with what he's telling Tyson there.
Right.
So that's
I
another.
heard both
Mm,
stories too. I heard both stories, but I think the fire training, the fire department, that was misspoke by somebody. I
mm,
think somebody jumped the gun on that one, because I did hear, did he say it in this interview here where he said, no, I was at a job. I never said, I don't know who said it. They said he never said he was going over there for fire department training or
I'm not.
firefighter.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that originated from, the fire training, but he did.
Right.
He did
So I
certainly
don't know
say
where that
there.
came
Yeah, he certainly just said there that he was doing a job in Denver. He
from.
went there on
And
a
he
Sunday
wanted to get
night.
started on for something on Monday, which is weird to me. On a Mother's Day, and he's, oh, I'm going to be in Denver. So he goes, but again, they've been married for many years. And sometimes couples have gotten into that. Well, it's not a big deal. The girls aren't here. You
Hmm.
want to go and get your work site started, you know, okay. So it's possible that could be, I mean, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, and I think that's
um,
reasonable. People, I think people
yeah,
can expect people to
I
do
just
that.
think it's possible that, yeah, definitely.
Now, the other piece of information that came out, and let's say this is reportedly a family member of Suzanne's. They wanted to stay anonymous, but reportedly Barry last saw Suzanne at 5 a.m. on Mother's Day morning when he left for work. He didn't. She was sleeping. He didn't wake her because she was sleeping, and then he left to go to Denver at 5 a.m. Mother's Day morning.
Mm-hmm.
So in that respect, if anything did happen Saturday, that would mean that he would be lying about that. So that's a difficult one to weigh up, isn't it? But that was a new piece of information that sort of came out from Suzanne's family.
So the last time he saw her was at 5:30 a.m. Sunday morning.
5 a.m. Yeah. So
5
he is
a.m.
the last person to see her
Okay.
in effect, which
Mm-hmm.
is always very, important, isn't it? It's always, certainly to law enforcement, last person to see.
Yeah, that's not good when
Mm.
you're the last person. Now, with them being married for so long too, I guess I was hoping for, not hoping for, but was looking for a little more emotion from
Mm.
him when he was talking with Tyson. It just seemed like he was out there hiking, having an okay day, a little hot and sweaty, but no big deal. That kind of air to it is what I felt.
Mm.
And as a husband, I'm sure if anything, God forbid, happened, you would be like, oh my gosh, I don't know, you would, I don't know. I could see you panicking in that respect and showing that kind of urgency. But again, yeah, see, I'm not trying to blame him or anything like that. Please don't think that. So let's chat about what? A baby with his mistress. What
But
happened?
as far as I know, no mistress has been confirmed or anything. That's all. As far as I know, that's just all
A rumor.
rumors. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's what I heard too. I heard rumors. I didn't know if it was valid, confirmed or not.
Yeah. I've not heard anything about a mistress or a baby or anything like that. It's with this
Okay,
case,
so
it's very
Glowing Ember. Yeah,
say
Glowing Ember
it's
says that the group claims to have seen Suzanne at 5:30, yet she dropped out of wedding arrangements conversation the evening before.
yeah. See, that's. I mean, there is the fact that, and Suzanne's family have confirmed this. They do get rubbish service out there. They don't have a landline phone, and they do get extremely bad cell service. So of course that does open up the possibility that maybe,
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a signal, you know, signal dropped out or whatever, and she couldn't continue to communicate with her friend. There is always that possibility. But I've certainly never heard anything about a mistress or anything like that. And that is the problem with this case, as I suppose with any case, especially
Patty
high
cakes.
profile ones. Yeah, the rumours and the speculation just
Yeah.
start going off in all directions. And
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes it's
absolutely.
difficult to know. People just come out with stuff and it's totally unsubstantiated where they got it from. You know what the internet's like, right? Especially Facebook.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Mm,
And a lot of people, will sometimes come up with it just to see if it would stick. Let's
y-
see, let's see if it comes true or not.
yeah, let's
Um,
get the sensational story. Because as you know,
yeah.
we always try and stick, we always stick to the facts
Yep.
unless there's a very strong theory or whatever that may be worth exploring. But we don't sort of entertain or go down
No,
the
we
rabbit holes of speculation and all that kind of stuff.
no.
Especially if
Everybody hit that like and share. I did.
there was something else I wanted to touch on. Yeah, the other thing. So also now, I mean, some people almost said this is like a controlled leak from law enforcement that they've kind of done this, but Suzanne's family also saying apparently Barry's truck GPS data doesn't match his story that he's given. So obviously
I
that's the cause
heard
concern.
that today. I just heard that today that the GPS did not match up,
Mm,
correct?
yeah, and in addition, opportunities to take a polygraph and I think it was a voice analyst or stress analysis test.
Mhm.
He's declined. Now I know that's caused a lot of concern for his family because the information that he fed back to everyone was that he's been vetted, he's been cleared, and they even got the information that he'd passed a polygraph, which is
Oh,
kind of
so
worrying, right? If Suzanne's
wait a
family
minute.
is saying he's declined,
Wait a minute. So he told them he's clear and everything's fine.
yeah,
But the law enforcement is saying, no, he has declined everything.
well, a member of Suzanne's family has said this, reportedly.
Ah,
It's
okay.
never been verified by law enforcement,
Correct. Okay.
but
So,
it's come from
well, we
Suzanne's
know
family.
that he did not take a polygraph. We know that. Correct, because he declined that,
Yeah.
and which can be the case
Mm.
if a lawyer is telling you, if you got a good lawyer, they're telling you to shut up. That's
That's
basically what it is.
yeah. And being devil's advocate, that's what I'm wondering if well, yeah, we know he's getting legal advice. Is his lawyer saying, look, just don't say anything, don't take a polygraph, don't agree to anything, just let them do their job. I can see both sides of the argument on that.
Yeah, because I mean, a really good attorney would say, nope, mm-mm. Because look, his or her client is looking already guilty. Last person to see her, he's the husband. It's always the husband, right?
Hmm.
He's out of town. He just so happened to be out of town, and she goes missing, and her bike is found in this weird. So everybody's now, things are starting to happen, and wheels are turning. You
Mm.
know, so naturally, a lawyer would be like, don't say nothing, don't do nothing until the police come to you with evidence and arrest you.
Mm. I suppose on the other hand, people will say, well, if you've got nothing to hide, if you're not guilty of anything, your wife's been missing for 3 months, why aren't you offering just to clear yourself, out of this situation?
That's a valid question. And if it were me, I would be trying to clear my name. I mean, I would try to be looking for my spouse, but I would be, saying it's not me. Oh my God, I would take polygraph, everything. But not everybody's the same. And Barry is a different type of person. And he definitely is getting legal advice. I will say that, I'm sure.
Hmm.
He looks like somebody that would get an attorney. And I guarantee they're saying it doesn't matter in public opinion, court public opinion. We want the police to look for Suzanne and bring us the evidence to prove and to arrest him.
Mm.
So that's what his attorney would be saying.
Yeah.
I'm not an attorney. Oh, God forbid. No. I'm not Scott Reich or anything like that. But I mean, if I was an attorney, which I thought about becoming at one point. I mean, I have no problem debating people. So I think that would be a good debate. That would be, hey, my client is already being hung in public opinion,
Yeah.
So I don't want him talking because no matter what he says, it's still going to be construed as something or
True.
misconstrued. So he could be like out there running in the street saying, I'm innocent. And people are going to be like, well, why is he saying that so much? There's always going to be two sides to it, but I don't know their relationship. I don't know anything about them. To me, I mean, I'm not going to give my personal opinion because you're not asking. So
Mm.
I'm just trying to say, for unbiased, it could be very possible that Barry is just being told to keep his mouth shut.
It's a very real possibility, yeah, and that's why he's not saying anything.
Yep. Stay away from the police. Stay away from the public. Don't tell the public what's going on. He's probably staying at a friend's house maybe, or, staying at a separate location. I don't know. Is he back home? Because I know that the home was released, but
Um, yeah, All I know. Oh, thank you, Crystal Taylor, for becoming a member. Just quickly, sorry, just something in the chat as well. High profile and evil. Nice for you to pop in. I will definitely
Profiling evil.
drop you an email. Definitely, that's on my to-do list. So
I
thanks for
keep
dropping
hearing
them.
wonderful things about
Mm.
profiling
Oh,
evil.
they're fab. Yeah, it's too. It's like a golden nugget into the true crime community. They're two former detectives, actually. So um,
Well, I'm gonna have to subscribe. I don't see them in the chat though, so I don't know. That's
they've
weird.
just dropped in the chat. But yeah, they got
Yeah.
fantastic channel, and obviously the insight and experience that they can bring to this whole genre.
Profiling. Oh yeah, profiling
Um,
evil. Everybody's telling me about you. How wonderful you are.
but yeah, I will definitely definitely do that. It's Chris and
So,
I'm so sorry, I
what
can't
is
remember the chap's name.
profiling evil's thought on the process? On this whole.
They're very much Mike. That's it, Chris and Mike. I mean, being former law enforcement, they're very they're very much down the middle. They're not going to put out information either way that's going to cause reactions or what have you. Do you know what I mean? They're obviously very
Sure.
factual, and how we like
Mhm.
to maintain our line kind of down the middle until we know anything substantial. So, but yeah, they got a fantastic channel. So yeah, everyone check them out for sure. Just look them up on YouTube. Um, Now I completely forgot my train of thought now as to what I was going to say.
I'm
Oh yeah,
sorry.
we were just we were just talking about what were we talking about? Remind me, Kelly. My train of thought's completely gone. It's this
Well,
heat.
yeah, I asked if Barry had gone back to the home.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So all I know is that, or from Barry's side of the family, they know up until a couple of weeks ago that the children or the daughters were staying with Barry at the home. But that was only up until a couple of weeks ago. As for the past couple of weeks, they're not sure. They don't know.
Okay.
And that's a very horrible situation, isn't it? It's a very,
Very.
these two girls, their mum's missing, and living with their
I'm
dad, who
very
everyone's
concerned
pointing
for
fingers
them.
at. I really don't envy. I mean, it's an awful position for them to be in. Awful position.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just subbed to profiling evil. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
Um,
Yes.
and the,
I I'm really concerned about the girls, especially with the fact that there will be a lot of accusations, misinformation, and they're old enough to know what's going on, obviously, and they're old enough to have people in social media to be turning against them in some respect. So this is a nightmare. Not only is their mother missing, but now their father, the other parent, there's some half and half going on there. So, and the stress of it all, and I can't imagine. I don't know how these poor girls. I just don't know what's going to happen here.
no.
I wish I could say something that would be endearing for them. I wish I could. This is terrible.
What does concern me is the fact that law enforcement have made. I mean, they obviously made a visit to the house. Made it a crime scene, took out evidence and everything, and then they later went back to the house, which I thought was really concerning. It puts the whole focus on that house, doesn't it? There's obviously something that they found or seen or believe has happened in that house, because I can't understand why they would focus so much attention on it, if it
I
wasn't
am
important.
concerned about that, them going back for more evidence after, that's weird.
Hmm. Either they know a lot
They know a lot.
and they're not saying anything, or they're stumped. But I can't make. I really can't decide. I'd like to think that
That-
they obviously know a lot, and that
I'm
they.
wondering if they know a lot, because when enforcement doesn't know that much, they usually eventually they turn to the public. They become desperate, right?
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything of any desperation
not at all. They just.
except for that digging in that concrete that one time.
Mm,
That was pretty swift in there of whoa,
yeah.
they're looking for something. They think something's there.
Mm. That when I wouldn't have done that without real good reason to believe that there was something there. I mean, when I saw that they were doing that, I just, my heart kind of sank because I thought, well, this isn't good at all. When they start digging in concrete and stuff like that, um,
Mhm.
usually it's not going to
Yeah.
be a good outcome. So, who knows why they did that? But yeah, it's what this reminds me of. As we've seen in other cases, like with the Gannon Stout case. We saw law enforcement
Yeah.
going in the house, coming out. They weren't really saying anything, and then all of a sudden, bang! Out comes this
Dang.
affidavit with all this evidence,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
that's
that's the
sort of what
same thing with
concerns
a
me.
lot of cases.
Mm,
Well, remember the Scott Peterson case where Lacey, his wife, the pregnant wife Lacey, and she went missing on Christmas, around
yeah,
Christmas. So anyway, Scott, like the police, it looked like the police really didn't know what angle, right, that they were going in. But that whole time they were collecting so much stuff behind the scenes we didn't even know. Of course, there wasn't social media then, so we relied on the news. And I lived in California at the time, so I remember when she went missing. But she he was actually, they were building this case against him. He was going to his mistress and you know talking to her, and she was recording his conversations because she also reached out to them. So they had so much going on, and it was nice to see that they had all that against him and they were able to catch him before he did anything else.
mm,
And now it's with these like you said with Letitia Salk, we didn't hear anything. Remember, she went to North Carolina or South Carolina.
that's right.
She,
Yeah. Well, she kept
she
talking. She kept opening her mouth and blabbing her mouth, didn't she? I mean, she almost gave herself
yeah,
away to the public, to be honest. Um,
yeah,
and maybe that's a tactic law enforcement use. Maybe they just let people who they suspect, maybe they just, you know, say, okay, just let them say whatever they want because they're going to put their foot in it at some point.
yes,
If they've done something, they're going to slip up.
yeah. And actually, I heard because of social media, it's a double-edged sword for the law enforcement.
Mm,
In one point, uh, they don't want information getting out. Absolutely not. Don't release information. But then on the other point, they want people to release some information so they can see, they can, you can pretty much put yourself in jail, just by opening your mouth.
yeah,
So it's a double-edged sword for law enforcement, but they do like to let people, talk. They
yeah.
want to see it.
It's probably the worst thing ever to law enforcement at times, and then other times it's probably the best thing ever. I mean, it's great for spreading information and awareness, isn't it? Like what we're doing here, just keeping the case out there, keeping Suzanne's name out there, keeping the case
Hmm.
alive, looking at what we've got, so
Yeah,
that
we don't
in that
want
respect.
Suzanne to go unnoticed or, forgotten. God forbid, no. I wish I could, you know, get highly involved in true crime as much as, I do listen to it and stuff, but, I focus on the victims more. So my focus is more on worried about where she's at and how her daughters are doing, and is very holding up well? Is he going to do well? You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I'm trying to look at it as a victim's advocate point of view when I'm here on your channel, of course. um, and it's, but I still am seeing a lot of strange holes in the story. And being from a criminal justice background, that's what's concerning me for Suzanne.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's certainly things that aren't adding up. I mean, the information that's come out from when the case kind of broke to now, it's very conflicting. So clearly, some of the information that's come out hasn't been correct, or some of the information that's come out
Right.
has been untrue. You know, people may have said something that aren't true. So, I find that quite concerning that, certainly with what Suzanne's family, the information that's come out from their side doesn't really tally up with what we thought was the information that we had. So that is a concern. And of course the time now, we're 3 months down the line now. It's such a long time,
I
isn't it?
know. That's insane. That is insane. And that's why it's super scary and concerning now.
Hmm.
It's been way too much time. When at first it was like a couple days, you're thinking, oh gosh, you have that hope that she, maybe fell or she got a ride somewhere or, even if she fell and bumped her head and doesn't remember who she was. But it's been like it's been 3 months. People are all over looking for her. Her face is out there. Um, I did hear something about a car, possibly, someone, I don't know if that was mentioned, that, a white car that could have had her and that, is it possible she's still alive? Those are all things that I'm hoping
Hmm.
that she's still alive. But I don't like it. I know none of us do. We don't like the 3 months.
It's too long. It's such a long time, for somebody to be missing. And how can somebody just literally vanish off the face of the earth in this day and age? I'd love to know where her phone was. I guess law
Cannot
enforcement have
vanish.
her phone. I think, well, this is coming from what the initial story came out. She didn't have her phone with her, so that leads you to believe it would be at the home. But I don't know whether law enforcement have got the phone. But obviously, you can gather so much information from a phone. It's someone's life practically now, isn't it? People that use their phone every day tells you where they've been, what they've been
Oh,
doing,
yeah.
who they've been talking to, what they've been looking at on the internet. I mean, it just tells you everything. So I'll be
People
interested to
do not
know.
vanish in thin air.
That's what's crazy
People do
about this whole story.
Yeah, they don't vanish. So somebody needs to come out clean that they know where she is or something because it's unless she was abducted by aliens, somebody knows something.
It'll be interesting. I mean, everyone's pandering for it, for Barry to come out and say something. And I know his family are concerned with what they're now hearing, obviously, with what he's told them. So he certainly, I think, in my opinion, he owes it to, his family to explain why there is this conflicting information, if you know what I mean, because that's going to cause worry, isn't it, to
Yeah.
to a lot of people when you've got conflicting information like that. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not he comes out and speaks. All we've had so far is his plea, isn't it? I don't think we've had anything else at all. I can't think of anything other than what we saw there with Tyson, which he didn't know was happening.
No.
There's nothing. What did you think of his initial plea, and what do you think of the high reward? The substantial reward. I've never seen a reward come out that high for somebody so soon.
You want my
Somebody
honest
missing.
opinion?
Oh, yeah, on his, yeah.
Okay. You're going to still love me, I hope, afterwards.
Well, it's your opinion only. Then let me stress that it's not.
Yeah, it's my opinion only, not Team Phoenix. I hope he still loves me after this, but I did not like it. I didn't like the body language. I didn't like what the things that were, how he was saying it. I didn't feel emotion. I guess I could say that. As time has gone on, I still don't like it. When Tyson had the interview with him, he seems very standoffish. He's in control. He's controlling. He reminds me of someone who's in control. He's always got his finger on everything. He knows what's going on. So to me, he would know where his wife is. Like, and if he didn't know where his wife was, he'd be going crazy trying to find her. That's, oh my gosh, I got that off my chest. I'm sorry. I don't feel safe with it. I hope I'm wrong. I seriously hope I'm wrong.
I'm just gonna play it, Kelly. Just so I think there's a few people that haven't seen it. So let me just play that for those who haven't seen it. So this came out. I'm not sure exactly when it came out. Actually, 17th of May. So was that a week? A week after.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you. We miss you. Your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you, and I want you back so bad.
Just play again.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you. We miss you. Your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you, and I want you back so bad.
So that was a week after. That was Barry's plea, and that's all we've heard.
Mm-hmm. That's all we heard from him, except what Tyson did, and then of course that ticked him off enough. Now he's never going to probably talk to anybody again, because he was told, you're not being recorded. So to him, that was a betrayal. So now he's not going to open up to anybody now.
No, he's going to be wary, of course.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would be too, at this point, if I was in anybody's shoes in any of these types of situations, because social media, not everybody's out for your benefit. So there's always going to be these people that are just trying to get whatever they can from you. So I can see being weary of people, and I feel bad for Tyson. I think he meant well, but it definitely put a bad taste, I'm sure, in Barry's mouth, because he said specifically, "You're not being recorded."
Yeah, I think that was. Yeah, it's not the way I would have gone about things. I'm far too honest for that. But
yeah, me too. I would have been like, well, I'm recording because this is why I'm here. I'm too forward. But I think that Barry he's just got his finger on everything. And to me, the video looked like he was in a movie.
Yeah, and he does mention this kind of whatever they want, or
Yeah.
It's almost like.
But do you notice he shakes his head no at a point where he says, whatever it takes, whatever, I love you. And he shakes his head no a lot. There's and I'm just throwing it out there. But there's another channel. There's a young man that does body language reading. He's like super good at it, really good. And people like he can do high profile things because, he's that good at it. He's like a human lie detector or something. And he right away did a video on this, but he had to retract it because he got a lot of heat on that. But he said the exact same thing I was saying and looking at. So I was glad he validated that for me. But yeah, he just seemed not as what I would be. I just and I've seen a lot of strong men cry because they can't find their wife or children. I get a lot of people who are like, well, he's a strong man. He's one of those tough guys. They're not going to cry. I think if he lost something very near and dear to him, I could see that being an issue for him. Wouldn't you think?
I on the other hand, I can also see him wanting to be strong for, you know,
For
his
the
daughter, for
girls
the
and everything.
girls. Yeah,
Sure.
putting myself in his position.
I'm glad that we could do this and bounce.
Yeah, congruency.
Congruency.
True Helper says it's called congruency, where your body's not in tune with your words. So basically, what you're saying is he's kind of saying yes, but his head's nodding no, that kind of thing.
Right, because like the young man that I watch, his name is Derek, but he said, try this at home. Shake your head no and say, I love you, honey. I'm not trying I don't mean to laugh, but that's what Derek said, and it made me laugh because he's like, try that at home, and he and I was like, yeah, that looks kind of bad, it doesn't, but
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, there is a whole line of people that do study, obviously, behaviour, particularly on I'm sure that CBI, FBI have analysed this a million times, probably as they have Tyson's video, trying to read what Barry's saying and how he's, reacting in his body language, because obviously to trained people, there's a lot of clues and answers in studying that type of thing, aren't there? Because
right.
sometimes you can only trick your brain so much, can't you? It's
Yeah.
certain things you can't stop your body from doing, or stop from giving away certain clues, and that's what they pick up on, isn't it?
I wanted to say something to cute Tiffany. She said he could be shaking his head in disbelief in her going missing, maybe. And hey, Tiffany, that is a legitimate thing as well.
Could be.
When people are in disbelief, they will shake their head. The thing is, though, if you have to watch it, the whole thing, the whole body language. He's not under duress. So in a way, you know what I mean? Like he's not being, there's no like news media all on his face. And remember, there's no cameras. Remember when there's with other cases, the cameras and everybody's getting nervous. And so he doesn't have that. He's in a relaxed environment. He's in his own control. He's got control. Naturally, he looks very controlled, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He's
he
controlled
looks.
over his emotions. So if he's controlled over his emotions, but at the same time, his body is trying to tell the truth, to me, that didn't go in I can't believe this is happening. To me, it did not look that way. I could see if someone is saying, oh my gosh, like they're shaking their head a lot. And yes, I could see that. I could see it being, I can't believe this is happening, shake. But with his video, I wish I could say that, but that's not what the, head shake that I got. That's not the impression I got. I wish I could say, yeah, that's definitely it. It could be a possibility. Again, he's a unique human being. We're all unique.
Yeah, I think that's the thing when I look at this kind of thing. I always think, well, everybody's different to a degree. We're all the same, but and certainly under duress and stress, probably a lot of people would react very differently to how they would expect themselves to react, or how they would normally react. And I always think back to, was it Heidi Broussard's partner Shane, wasn't it? A lot of people, said, "Oh my God, he's acting so weird. It's him. He's guilty," and he was acting very odd, in his
He was.
interviews. But of course, he turned out to be innocent, and
innocent.
That just
But
kind of showed.
he was hiding something, Chris. He was hiding that it was something that he felt that he did wrong. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like I should have he fell asleep, right? Remember? He fell asleep. So to him, he spent all that time sleeping when, Heidi had been gone that whole time. So I kind of think about that like, oh, it looks bad that I went to sleep and didn't think anything of it that Heidi wasn't home. Does that,
Mm,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So he was upset and hiding something in a lot of ways, but it wasn't what we thought it was.
Mm,
So we all picked up on something, and plus he was super scared. He's got cameras in his face. His baby's missing. His, love of his life is missing. So a lot of different people act different ways. And Shane had I feel horrible for him because everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, he's guilty."
yeah.
We didn't
Court
know what
court
to
of public opinion. Yeah, I think I think that's why everybody just has to not be too
Yeah,
quick to jump in. And I do know, and I have sort of shared this before. You sort of Barry's family have let me know that Barry is a very old school type of man. He doesn't show emotion.
right,
He'd rather not show emotion. Do you know what I mean? It's
right.
that kind of old school that probably like my father's like. They'll try and just keep low key. If they're feeling emotional, they'd rather not show it to people. If
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. So there's just so
Absolutely.
many different characteristics to take into account, I think, when looking at something like this. But
I guess the bottom line is we wish he would just come right out and be like, "Hey, look, I really, really want my wife back. Like, I didn't do anything, and here, let's do a lie detector test. I mean, we don't know what the police have. I'm sure they've questioned him quite a few hours.
hmm
Quite a few times. I'm sure they did.
yeah, that's what I mean. The fact they just haven't come out with anything just kind of makes me
Yeah,
believe
Rachel
that they do
Maddow.
know a lot. They have got a lot of information that they're,
We don't
keeping
know.
close to their chest, which is understandable.
David Nightwolf, he said, could Barry be blaming himself for going to work on Mother's Day, and that's why he appears guilty to many? Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. He could very well be feeling like, oh my God,
Mm,
of all times that I'm out of town, this happens.
mm.
So, and then you've got that I wish I could save her kind of thing, where is she? So yeah, that's definitely everybody acts different in crisis. I agree. I agree.
One thing I would say is, I never saw Chris Watts out looking for Shanann. I never saw Patrick Swayze out looking for
Oh no, they
Lacey.
weren't.
Lacey. But then, Barry, we've seen him out
Very we
actively searching. So,
Mhm.
that's something interesting that I think people should take on
Well,
board as well.
well, I do look at it this way though. I feel that he might if she is gone, he might be going through this panic inside where of course we're not going to see it, but he's trying to, like you said, maintain some composure. But I really think he could be panicking. That's why he's not talking to anybody else, because he's really just frustrated and can't think of anything else.
Mm,
So I think of different scenarios, but because I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I just don't like it. I don't like
yeah.
that she's been gone this long.
No, I think that's why we're all here. That's why we're, continuing to look at it and focus on it because, you've got this beautiful mother that's just disappeared out of her family's life, and it's just heartbreaking to think what they're going through and what they're having to deal with and think about every night when they go to sleep. I mean, it's just heartbreaking. So, we'll continue to do that all the time. That she's missing, and all the time that there's something relevant to put out, we'll do that to keep sharing her story because so many
Somebody
people want her
knows
found.
something.
Somebody must know something. Somebody,
Somebody knows something, of course. Somebody, and it's going to come out. What goes on in the dark will come out in the light. So we
yeah.
just we just want to, yeah, I don't blame him too much for not talking either, though, because Raging Night Wolf, I'm just reading Night Raging's comments because Raging has a nice way.
Mm,
Don't blame him for not talking, the way his every word has been picked apart on social media. Yeah. I mean, and he did see the Chris Watts, I'm sure, and that porch interview, um, living in Colorado. I'm sure he'd probably seen that and been like, okay, that doesn't look good. People will just pull you apart.
yeah. Yeah. I think it's important to stay, stay on that kind of middle line until you know for sure one way or the other. If there's conclusive evidence one way or the other, then you take that path. But at the moment we're still at this position now where we've kind of still got this lot of speculation. We've got this, unfortunately now we've got this conflicting information, which hopefully we can get to the bottom of. Regarding these vehicles, two vehicles now have been mentioned. It's now been mentioned that Barry hasn't passed any kind of polygraph when
Mm-mm.
his family thought he had, and that kind of thing. So it'd be nice to clear up these kind of inconsistencies because this is what causes all of the speculation and people to fly off the handle and you know
Yeah,
start trying to take people down and attack them and what have you. So it'd be nice if we can clear that up. But I guess at the
that's a good
moment,
question, Thunder. Were dogs used, Chris? Did they use dogs, search dogs?
I imagine they probably would have done the first day, but it's certainly not been in any way prevalent in the reporting or anything like that. So
Yeah,
I can only imagine that there was nothing that they wouldn't have picked up on anything substantial. It's certainly not been reported at all that any dogs picked up on any scent or trails or anything like that. So
okay. Raging says that they believe they did use dogs in the first few days.
yeah, they would have used them as soon as
Yeah,
possible, obviously. But I don't think I've certainly not heard or seen anything that anything was picked up. Certainly.
right. No, they obviously didn't pick up anything. Um,
So we're just kind of left with, as I say, these new pieces of information which have come from Suzanne's family, really, and that's kind of where we are at the moment. So
yeah. Well, I want to say that I'm praying for Suzanne's safe return, and I pray for love and peace for the family, her daughters, everyone,
mhm,
mom, dad, everybody. So I just want them to know that there are people that care and that we truly pray that she comes back.
absolutely, yeah. I'll reiterate that. I mean, we're all praying for Suzanne and for the friends and the families. It's an awful
Yeah.
situation, but
I'm sure her family, siblings, parents. I mean, she looks like she was super well loved, so well loved. So
yeah,
hopefully we get her back.
we'll keep her name out there and we'll keep her face out there, and we'll keep you guys up to date with any news that we've got coming in.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me, Chris.
That's okay. Thanks for coming on. It's been a joy to
It's
chat.
always a joy. It's always a joy. I love you guys so much.
Are
And
you are you doing have you got any lives coming up with
yes, we're
Frankie
doing
and
we're doing something tonight for Shanann Day. We want to talk about Shanann, just their life, just celebrate their life. Nothing about the case, nothing about that. Just remember them when Suzanne was little, something when she was younger, and get to know her as a person.
That's good.
And Saturday we have the Silenced Survivor Saturday, and that's an open panel. Everybody is welcome. And that's at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, Chris, you are always welcome. That's your channel too. So I don't know what time, what is it? You're 6 hours ahead of me.
Yeah, something like that. 5 or 6. So it'd be something like, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll if I can be there, I'll be there. Don't worry. Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for coming on, Kelly. Thank you very
I love
much.
you. Love you, True Helper, Helen, everyone. All right, take care, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Did
Thanks, Kelly.
I just click leave or?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
you should
because
be
I
able
don't
to.
want to mess up your life. Okay.
No, that's fine. Okay,
Bye.
thanks. Bye. Oh, there we go, guys. Let me just bring that back. Yeah, so just as we were talking there, our thoughts and prayers obviously go out to, to the Rusex, and obviously it's 2 years today that that monster Christopher Watts decided to annihilate his family. We know why he did it, but I don't think we'll ever understand how he ever brought himself to do it. But our thoughts and prayers go out to the Rosette family and all family and friends that were affected by that tragedy. I made a decision not to make a video or anything about the 2 years. I don't think that's really what they want or need at the moment. So I just put a message on our channel, which was, meant for them and many others. So hopefully they read that. But thank you all, guys. Thank you all for joining tonight. It's a baffling case. I know it's a case that's close to the heart of a lot of us now. Certain cases you kind of just pick up on, don't you? And you get close to, and you just want to see a happy end to it, and just, if anything, just find out what's happened, because this has truly got me baffled, and I know it's got everyone baffled. It's just hard to believe that somebody can vanish just like that out of thin air and there not be any kind of trace of where that person's gone. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll hear some positive news soon, and we'll keep praying for Suzanne and friends and family. So thanks for joining me all tonight, this afternoon, or whatever time it is where you are. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you to True Helper, and I think Firefly was in earlier as well. Thank you to JD and Crystal Taylor for becoming members. It's very much appreciated. Just to let you know, spoken to Kim. She's doing okay. And she'll be around. She'll be around soon, but she's okay. She's that's the main thing. She's fine. She's okay, and you'll see her back on the channel soon, I'm sure. So that's good news. But yeah, thank you guys. Take care, and I'm sure I will speak to you all again very soon. So enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.